card, but I couldn't use it for.
Well, we've got about 500,000 points with Aeroplan.
So I'd like to,
It's been tough. Not have him on a plane.
so I'd like to call our regular council meeting of September 10th order. Respectfully acknowledging that this meeting is being held on the traditional territory of the Kaga people. Yabakesa.
Yeah, Tesla.
May I have approval of the agenda as presented, moved by Councillor Tewksbury, seconded by Councillor Texmo, all in favor? I have the minutes of the regular council meeting held August 13th for adoption, moved by Councillor Tewksbury, seconded by Councillor Smith. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. No delegations. Business arising from the minutes, our council action item report, August 13th for information. Any comments, questions, Councillor Tex?
I'm just curious about the Beaver Harbor Park. I just had, just that,
Painful.
is it? Oh, yeah.
So we're still waiting for the ARC report, and maybe our
Okay.
CAO Nelson Smith would like to mention that.
Yes, so our archaeologists have been proggy. And of course, as you know, we did have some involvement before. One of the things that we have done is we've reached out to the estate lawyer in order to extend the bequeath.
Yeah,
And at this point, I believe letter will be coming to extend the
Yeah.
bequeath.
However, we all would like to have it moving
of
forward.
course, yeah. I was just kind of curious what, where it was at.
Yeah. I think we're still waiting for an ARC report on downtown too.
Yes,
But
and that one is further down.
Mhm.
Because that's part of an application for so we put in two applications, one very close to each other, one for the Beaver Harbor Park and then one for all of the district of Port Hardy, which
Right.
would then allow us to be able to just consult when we reach out to actually go on to that property or whichever property happens and engage that way.
Mhm.
Any other comments,
Thank you.
questions?
Oh.
Councillor
Just a
Jacobs?
comment for you, not with regard to that, but I was pretty excited when I came to the office tonight and saw the equipment working
Yeah.
over there at the skateboard park, so that was pretty cool.
Agreed.
It was neat to see.
All right, under new business, we have the local government climate action program, the survey submission from the district. Any comments? Under correspondence, we have from Councillor Trish Mandeo, thank you, President UBCM, about our community building fund, the first community works fund payment for 2024-2025. For information. Any comments, questions?
Gas tax.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I say that
A
every.
different name now.
different name, same thing.
Same one.
From Kermit Dahl, the mayor from the city of Campbell River, the urgent request for provincial support in addressing homelessness in Campbell River for information. Any comments or questions? From Hugh Barker, Cheryl Casimir, and Robert Phillips, First Nations Summit Political Executive, call for municipalities to implement the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples for information. Any comments? Councillor Roberts?
Yeah, I seem to remember, and I'm losing memory cells here, and that's always a bit dangerous. That during our first couple of years as on council, when Jesse was still a member of council.
Yeah.
And we looked at the report from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And we passed some motions around that too. So I'm just drawing a bit of a blank on those motions. I probably should have got them ahead of time, but, I think just, initial looking, and I don't know if anybody is going down to, the provincial community to community meeting, on the Monday, and just find out from other communities how they're dealing what they're dealing with this, because I think it's worth the discussion to look at what's involved and.
So myself and,
I'm registered for that.
both registered for it, but I think too, maybe we could have a C2C, we could have a committee of the whole meeting just
Yeah,
to go
that's good.
through them
That's a good
again
idea.
and discuss it, because I know when, Counselor Empel was on council, we went through every one of them and discussed them and discussed how we could meet them, but it would be good to go back and, refresh our memory and maybe have a look at it.
And I was just saying, yeah, we're gonna be meeting the minister at UBCM. We have a meeting with them, so that's another thing that we can definitely talk about it, because the interpretations between the two, it's sort of a little bit ambiguous sometimes with regards to how they deal with it. Now that they've got DRIPA with the province set up and how it ties with this is something of interest to us to see, okay, how is it all functioning? How is it working? Because we as a small municipality, within the traditional territory of the Quail-Youth, we need to know how we're moving forward and how we're gonna be dealing with things. So I know it's pretty explicit with regards to the Crown land aspect, with regards to their participation, but with regards to our land and what we do and what we own, I guess that's another thing that we need to discuss. How we deal with that now. But yeah, it's an interesting report.
I do just want to point out that, they're in their therefore be it resolved, the first point, with respect to municipal governments,
Mhm.
strengthen unique First Nation municipal relations. I think that our
We work on
council and the First Nations have great relationships, and that, this council and councils before have worked hard on that, and there's still lots of room to grow, but,
Mhm.
I do want to point out, I think that we're moving in the right direction, certainly with that first point.
I agree.
Yeah.
Under community reports, we have the draft minutes of the Bear Smart Committee meeting held July 2nd for information. Counselor Smith, do you have any comments or anything you want to bring forward?
No.
The staff reports, the finance department, the August 2024 check-in EFT listener report for information. No comments. We have from our Director of Financial Services, Norma Isaac, the Order 2 report for information. Director of Financial Services, do you have anything you want to discuss and bring forward to us?
You too. As we can, like, from the notes, there's not a lot of information there. It seems like it's going along pretty smoothly and a little bit over, a little bit under, but nothing's really alarming. Most of it's kind of timing. And that's what's in the, kind of what I was alluding to in most of the notes, like the protective services, a little bit under budget. And mostly because we were a little bit later with our part-time fire chief coming on. And then common services, the 4% that's over on public works is, we put quite a bit more into safety at the beginning of the year. And then some of the new office stuff to get things set up, but that's smoothing itself out. It's just kind of like spent a little bit sooner than we thought. I've been watching Q3 and we're still going along nice and smooth. There's nothing that's really sticking out as being where we might need to kind of watch. Everybody's been really good about, we've had a lot of communication from everybody on budgets, and they'll phone up and go, oh, I was thinking about this, what do you think? And we talk about it, and also just everybody watching their budgets a lot more, and not just the directors, it's the supervisors as well that are really thinking about what they're spending. And I think that's just communication that's been happening more about budgets in the last while. The parks, well, no, I guess we go into like some of the stuff with the line painting, that's gonna make a big difference. They've been doing that already in Q3, so we'll see that's even itself out too. And the parks is the same thing, it's got to do with the timing for the season. So Q2, we hadn't quite got into some of the things that we thought we might have been spending already. Cemeteries under, and we like that.
Just not.
But when you look at the overall, 4% under budget is, we're keeping it tight, but we've had a tight budget, I think, last year and this year. And just the fact that we're still sitting there at that nice number, I think is a really good testament to everybody and how well they're doing.
Thank you. And the Director of Financial Services says that about everybody. That's a high compliment. Any comments or questions?
Well, just a comment that thanks for putting that together and presenting that. That's really good information to have.
Yes,
Appreciate that.
agreed.
Mhm.
So the bylaw number 1164 twenty twenty-three amendment to zoning bylaw 1010-2013 actually is a pending bylaw.
Mhm.
So we'll just move on. Council reports. Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. Not too much to report. Attended a Bear Smart meeting last week, and then I was feeling under the weather, so I missed the fall fair this weekend, but I heard it was amazing, and Bear Smart was there, along with the other district of party staff, which it looked like it went very well. But I missed it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's on my report.
Thank you. Councillor Tidbury.
Not much to report. I did attend regional district last week. Everything seems to be going okay there. And other than that, I'm coming to the end of my summer job. And I've got a couple of more runs before it ends, but next week will be the last trip. There's gonna be some interesting little changes happening insofar as we're working with the Living Oceans and people like that, and we're going to be giving bags out to hikers to clean up the trail and clean up and they've been in there now all this month and last month. They've been on the beaches collecting junk and stuff like that from the beach. So, and the helicopters is steadily going back and forth now from the to the parking lot. Definitely a big increase in tourists this year. Lots and lots of people going to San Jose Bay that have never ever been to this end of the island. And of course, going along with that, some of them leaving certain stuff behind, which is a little bit of an upset, especially when we try to promote, the clean, take it, and the signs there all over the place. A lot more bikes on the road too now, so.
Bicycles and motorcycles, what's the both?
Both.
Mm.
Yeah, lots of dogs going there now, on leashes and stuff. The majority of people abide by the laws of the land, but of course you get the odd few that don't. And there's probably the park, and I heard little rumors and stuff, probably the park's gonna expand a little bit, where the boat launch and stuff like that, that's reverting back to parks.
Okay.
Okay, so that area down there will be within the park's boundaries.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's basically it for me. And of course, I'm going to UBCM next week.
Thank you. Counselor Texmo.
Not much to report. Other than that, I was able to make the fall fair this weekend and it was amazing. It was super full in there. Got to bring the little kid in there and run around and got to try the Indian tacos, which were amazing. I don't know if anyone else got a chance to try any of those there. They're super good. Yeah, and there's just so many booths set up and so much information. It was actually almost overwhelming at some point to try and stop in at every booth and talk to everybody, but it was really well done. Really enjoyed myself. It's good to see that happen. Other than that, that's it. It's been quiet. I was in Calgary bringing a power line truck back, so didn't get much done. Yeah.
Counselor Dugas.
Yeah, pretty quiet for me. I was away for a couple of weeks back in Saskatoon. That was interesting. I've never been in Saskatoon in September where the temperature's been plus 30. It's hot, but it was good. Yeah, and yeah, I had a couple of meetings with BC Housing over that time since our last council meeting. And yeah, there's a few issues that need to be addressed moving forward. And we're gonna be working on that with obviously with the district of Port Hardy. I was at the overdose awareness day that they had down at Dirt Park on August the 27th, and Rachel Child actually was the organizer of that. There was a number of people there, and it was a great turnout. And it was very well done, and there was a lot of people there talking about different things that have affected their lives and how we should be obviously very supportive of one another with regards to that, and to be conscientious about what's happening in our community and doing whatever we can do to make it better for our people. And that was on the 27th, but the actual International Day of Awareness was August the 31st, which was a Saturday. And I know that there was some other things that were happening in the community at that particular time. So in support of that, so, and that's basically all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
What's it go with? I attended the Port Harding District Chamber of Commerce member mixer. It was hosted at the airport inn, and Pacific Coastal Airlines had some announcements out there. And they actually paid for everyone's dinner, which was fantastic. A couple of things they announced are that they're going to have flights every day through the winter.
Oh,
Sounds good.
Yeah, so one flight a day in the shortest period. They sort of have it into quarters. But yeah, they're really committed to the Port Hardy as part of their network. So also, they did have some painful times this past winter with cancellations, a lot due to mechanical issues. They listened to what their clients had to say, and they have a spare aircraft ready to go to help alleviate those. And they showed graphs, and it went like cancellations, and it went like just right down. So they are really listening.
That's good.
Yeah, Port Hardy's part of their routes, and it's an important part of their flight network. So they are very receptive to if we have suggestions. There's a lot that goes into their scheduling, though. It was interesting to hear them talk about how it all works and these slots at YVR now for takeoff times and stuff. And interesting, but they will work with our community. So if we have anything to add there. Another thing really important, especially for tourism operators in the North Island, they will have, forget the date, it's in September, mid-September. They'll have the schedule, bookable schedule, all the way up till next October 24th or something like that, online, probably right about by now. So that's really important for the
Lodges.
They had a draw for 2 return flights from Port Hardy to anywhere they fly, and they
won?
drew it, and Vince from Wilderness Airlines.
he won it?
Yeah, he won it. So they put it back in the pot.
Did he?
Fair enough.
And I won it.
That's awesome.
It's hilarious.
Even better.
Yeah. Okay, I also attended the KSM skate park design presentation, and as everybody can see,
Yeah, I was there too.
Breaking
I
ground.
forgot about
Yeah.
that. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It was very good, actually.
I wanted to be at all those meetings, and every time I tried to go to the meetings, something stopped me from going. to
Yeah,
that.
and that was the same as me. So, yeah,
I really wanted to be there. I'm just happy to see that it's going through, and then the design was great, though, everyone did a good job.
The people at the first one where they collected all the information, there was a lot of knowledgeable people from totally different backgrounds and things that they liked and stuff. I think that really helped to get a good design.
Totally, it's good.
I felt confident but I'm not a skater, but I felt
Yeah, I did too.
confident that they had a
Looked
good
pretty
design.
awesome.
It's a good design.
Yeah,
Yeah.
plus the people building it, very knowledgeable.
Mhm.
This Sunday is the Terry Fox Run.
Yeah.
I know some of you are going to UBCM, but if you're here, please participate. You can walk or run 1 or 5 kilometers. Carrot Park, 10 a.m. Come a few minutes early. You can register online. That'd be nice if you did that, save a little bit of lineups that happen at the last minute, so
Mhm.
that'd be fantastic, and are you going to say a few words?
Trina's gonna be.
You're gonna say a few words on behalf of- Thank you. We'll connect over that. The following Sunday is the Cops for Cancer Tour de Rock. And I want to thank the people in this room that have already sponsored me. If I raise $18,500, I'm gonna shave my head bald. I have a long way to go still.
Oh, do you?
I think I'm $4,000 or $5,000, somewhere in there. So I have a long way to go, but hopefully get some more donations
Something on
because,
Facebook that's shareable by chance?
yeah, it's on share. Yeah, it
Okay,
is on my
make a
Facebook.
note to actually go and share that.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I'm going to UBCM next week. Good for me.
Thank you. Councillor Robinson.
And I'm not going to UBCM next week.
Boo.
I'm equally sad. I was at the second, skate park, the presentation on the design. It was very interesting, very cool, and it's amazing. From there to shovels in the ground is, yeah, it's pretty good. At the end of August, there was the Collaborative Services Committee, meeting, it was North Vancouver Island. And it is talking about establishing the primary care net, which will establish, I'm on shaky ground here in terms of what it does, but it will establish staffing levels and staff to them. And so that they're fairly well down that road. So they a group from that from the whole committee is going off now and beginning to write the primary care initiative, and so they're writing that right now. The First Nations primary care network is in place and they're hiring for theirs now, and they have a whole list of who they're hiring, how they're hiring through it. So it will have an impact. And this is only my second meeting of this that I've been to, so I'm still trying to understand the whole primary care network and how that is a government. The government recognizes it as a separate entity and staffs accordingly, sort of thing. So it will have an impact in terms of staffing, should they find somewhere to live. But in terms of identifying staffing needs and to work specifically with the First Nations primary care net. One of the people from there is actually Tennille Johnson as well, who just actually, as it happened, was nominated to run in the federal election. I was also at a Foundry event. And it was a presentation of and I'll let Pat go into it because she's more familiar with it than I am, but with the Foundry board and the fundraising arm of it. And there was a presentation of a check from that group of $450,000 that was raised. A lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of the work was done by Lemaire Lake and by Angela Smith and Eric Dukovich. And it was Eric that presented the check, but also involved were Quatsino, BC Timber Sales, and Interfor. It was, it was, I don't remember in my time, certainly on council, where industry has donated close to $500,000 to a local organization. And certainly Foundry, it was directed towards there. Foundry will use that to look at new sites as well. So that was pretty cool. And we worked here for Fall Fair. It was the first Fall Fair we missed for a while. We were down island at Matthew Starr's wedding, who was also a longtime resident of Queen.
Good, I haven't heard from Matt in a long time.
Mhm.
That's me, thanks.
Thank you. So, I, myself and the deputy corporate officer have been involved with, helping organize a Decolonizing Addictions Conference and being part of the planning group. And that's October 15th, 16th, and 17th, and will be open to the public. And it will be a free workshop, but, should be very interesting, and, lots of great speakers are coming up, and, good panels. So I encourage everybody to, take note and come.
It'll be here in Artie, and where?
It will be at the Civic Center
Okay.
on all 3 days. So as, things really firm up, I'll, be sending out the information. We've just about got everything firmed up, but not quite all of it. I partook in the suicide memorial, walk that went from G&M and down to Carrot Park, and that was very well attended. I would think there was around 250 people that took part in the walk and, talked, and, so that was quite impressive. Our CAO and myself were part of a meeting with the Connective Rental, Connective Society that owns the 3 apartment blocks in town. And I have to say, it's probably the most interesting organization that's come into the community that really wants to help our community, that is very ethical, wants to make sure if things aren't going smoothly, what they can do to make it smoother. And, so I'm very, very impressed with, how they're working with the district as well as with the other societies in the area, as well as, their tenants, and, so it's really good. And if you ever hear any negative feedback about the apartment buildings or anything like that, they want to hear about that so that they make sure there's not negativity, it's all positive. So that was really interesting. Working with the Sonala Culturally Supportive Housing Society, our ED has been hired. We have a director of operations and finance. Our ED was, recently sworn in as the, elected chief counselor, so he's going to be pulling back a bit, and our director of operations and finance will be doing more, so they'll be tag teaming it. But I think there's a plan worked out. As Councillor Robertson said, I went to the Foundry Appreciation Luncheon, and, well attended, and, as Eric Dukovich said in his speech, and the reason why he is so involved in the Foundry is he had a meeting with a number of people a few years ago, and, Councillor Douglas was the mayor at the time, and he was at that meeting. I don't know if you even remember that meeting, but talking about the youth and the issues, and, Eric went back and talked to his family and said, we need to do something. We don't want to be the ones to say, they need to do something. We need to be the ones to do something. We need to be giving back. And so they are giving back to the communities. And so it's his family. And Interfor said the same thing. They needed to get back to the communities that they've been in, and Timber Sales and Quatsino, and just giving back. And so this check, right now, the site that they're in is an interim site. They've already outgrown it, because they're doing such great work down there. They've already outgrown it. So they need more money, and they need to prove to the government that they have seed money to expand and go further. So this is just the beginning. So that it was really great. And, attended the fall fair, and, I put in a bunch of different things just because I felt last year when I went to the fall fair, there wasn't a lot of entries.
Mhm.
I wasn't the only one that felt that way, so I put stuff in. Someone I knew, because I was helping out a bit on, Friday, Friday afternoon, I was helping out a bit as people were bringing in entries and that, and a person I know came in, I go, how many entries do you have? And she goes, I was at the fall fair last year, and
No.
that's very much. 100 entries. I looked at her, I said, are you nuts? She goes, how many did you put in? I said, 16. That was a lot. I just can't imagine, but she put in 100. But so it's not just taking it all there and that, but it's also
Yeah,
taking it home.
Yeah.
But it was a great fall fair, and it was steady people going in and out, and that was really good. And I think probably the biggest thing I did this past few weeks is go to Japan as the district party representative, and for a 30th anniversary of the twinning between our town and Nevada. And we're going to be doing the people that went over as a delegation and our CAO. We are going to do a formal presentation at a committee of the whole. But I just have to say, I don't think we stopped. They would give us rest periods that were maybe an hour, but we had to leave from where we were at, go back to our host family, get changed into something else, rest, and then at precisely the next, whatever, say we left at, say, 3 o'clock. We had to be back there precisely at 4 o'clock. So there's not a lot of rest period time happening and stuff, but it was amazing. On the day that it was a free day with the host family, and I think the most memorable thing I got to do was a traditional tea ceremony. And so we went to another town, and very formal, and anyways, you'll find out more. We'll be bringing in pictures and things like that and doing a formal presentation, but it was pretty amazing. Traveled with our CAO and her husband for beforehand, because we thought, well, if we're going all that way, let's do some other tourist things and some enjoyable things. I'm really glad we went ahead of time so we were not jet lagged, because we had to be on the whole time. And so, yeah, it was good. It was really good. 30 degrees, I say. I don't know
It
what
was
you're
pretty hot
talking
there,
about.
wasn't it?
40 degrees with humidity. That's hot.
That's a sauna.
That's a sauna. I was John's
Oh.
shirt color the majority of the time. 3 showers and I was still kind of damp.
Oh,
It was pretty warm, but we still managed to do lots of different things. It was very special.
yeah.
And again, remind everybody about September 15th and the Terry Fox, and as well on the 15th is the farmer's market. So we'll be sharing the park and lots of happening down in the park. So hopefully the weather will be good, and wish I'd be here, not be here for it, but as I said, UBCM needs to change when they do the conferences.
Yeah.
And I just have one final thing, and I want to do an official congratulations to our CAO, Nelson Smith. She was recognized by her peers for her volunteer work with the LGMA. And there's an excellent article in the LGMA Exchange magazine. So congratulations.
Mhm.
All right. There's no notice of in-camera meeting at this time. Motion to adjourn. So thanks, Mark. Thank you. Any questions pertaining to the agenda?
Hi, I have a comment and a question, Mayor. The comment at first is, Norma Isaac, we got her under the staff to investigate the liability of Norma Isaac selling the carrot carving. Last council meeting,